Next thing I want to talk about is Agarigold. Who's tried this product? Mushroom. Again, you guys are great. I can go home now, Eddie. They've tried everything. The Agarigold is a mushroom extract, the Agarigold H1X1. And I'll give you the basic history of this. Back in the 1970s, the Japanese were researching, there was a Japanese group that was researching epidemiologically where on the planet were you most prone to get certain diseases. Where on the planet were people living the longest, living the shortest. And they were trying to really map out the entire world to try and find out environmental factors, dietary factors, genetic factors that might increase or decrease your risk for disease. And they found this one area of Brazil that was in essence a black hole. This one section of Brazil outside Sao Paulo, called the Piedade region of Brazil, had very low incidence of disease, almost no historic incidence of cancer, and the people lived longer. And overall, they were healthier. So in 1978, 1979, research groups from Japan went to Piedade and started studying the area. And they found out right away that it was environmental in nature. It wasn't genetic, because people that moved to that area had the benefit. People who moved away from that area lost that benefit. And they finally realized that it was from something in their diet, this mushroom, this Agaricus blazei mushroom. And they did everything with it. They cooked with it. They made tea out of it. They put it. They used it in cleaning products. They did everything with this Agaricus. It was part of their daily life. They started researching, and they found out that the components in that mushroom turned the immune system into overdrive in a safe, effective fashion. People didn't get sick because they had more killer T cells. They had more macrophages. But it wasn't dangerous. It didn't increase risk of autoimmune disease. It didn't increase rejection episodes in transplant patients. It was an incredibly effective way to turn on the immune system in a safe fashion. So they actually published that data in 1980, and they presented it at the Japan Cancer Society meeting in Tokyo in 1980. Overnight, everyone in Japan wanted this stuff. They wanted tons of it. They started growing it in Japan. They started growing the mushroom in China. They started cooking with it and cleaning with it and snorting it. They did everything with this mushroom. Okay? It became a way of life in Japan. It's a commodity product in Japan. To this date, Agaricus blazei is a $400 million industry in Japan. The problem is what they were selling in Japan was not the same mushroom as the one in Brazil. I'll give you an example. My wife loves this one Bordeaux. And it's one of those ones that you don't want to age. You want a new Bordeaux. And it's from the Bordeaux region of France, very full-bodied red wine. And I say, my wife loves it so much, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the Bordeaux region of France, and when no one's looking, I'm going to dig up one of these vines full of grapes. I'm going to pack it in my suitcase, I'm going to take it home. And I'm going to plant it in my backyard in Parkland, Florida. I'm going to fertilize, I'm going to water it, I'm going to take care of it, I'm going to make sure it gets plenty of sun. When it gets all these grapes and they're nice and ripe, I'm going to pick them, I'm going to have my wife barefoot step on the grapes. You know, I'm going to make this beautiful wine for my wife. Do you think it's going to taste like her favorite Bordeaux? No? Why not? It's the same grapes, right? You guys understand this. It's not just that it's the grapes. It's the soil. It's the mineral content of the soil, the nutrient content of the soil. It's the temperature. It's the pressure. It's the humidity. It's the air currents. Everything goes into stressing that plant to make the compounds that you find in the finished product, like in a glass of wine. Same thing's true of mushrooms. Mushrooms grow in dead and decaying plant material. So the mushroom has to grow on the right stuff, in the right environment, with the right temperature, humidity, pressure, light and darkness. If you don't do that, you get different compounds in that plant. So the mushroom that they're growing in China and Japan had different compounds in it. It wasn't as strong as what we found in Brazil. Luckily, the original researchers had the chromatograms, they had all the original work, so they started working with a company in Pittsburgh that uses old coal mines, 3 miles of old coal mines that they grow mushrooms in. And they found all the original plant material and started growing the Agaricus blazei until they hit it exactly. And they got the exact mushroom that was growing in the Piedade region of Brazil that they did the work on. Then they looked around the world. They started looking for other versions of Agaricus blazei that might spike its activity. And they found another one in California. And they made the hybrid, the H1X1 hybrid, which if you look at the compounds, especially the beta-glucans in it, it's actually 3,000 times more potent than what they sell in China. It's highly effective. It's really a superfood with amino acids, vitamins, minerals, live enzymes, linoleic acid, and beta-glucans. And as I said, what it really does is increases natural killer cells. There were studies done right in Carolina. They took mice and they tried to induce cancer in mice in the presence of the agaricus blazei H1X1 extract. And no matter how much they hit it with these cancer inducers, they couldn't get these mice to get cancer. Now, I'm not saying that you're mice. I don't think you are, right? I know you're not rats. Not all of you. But the fact is, in this way, it turns on the immune system in a safe, effective way. You're not going to get sick as much. You're actually going to be overall healthier, general overall health. It's an immunomodulator, so if you have issues with immune system instability, then this is something that's going to help you on a daily basis.